Hello, and it's time for the season finale of Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian, episode 11. When I do shows on this channel, what I generally do is I'll post an episode or two at the start, and I'll sort of feel it out, you know, if I like the show, if people on this channel are watching the reaction. I didn't expect to do this show the whole way through. I thought I would just do one, maybe two episodes of this show. But I kind of, like, every week I was like, yeah, I'm gonna continue this show, you know? And then once I got past episode 6 or 7 or whatever, I was like, well, now I'm just gonna do the show to the end, of the season at least. But I really didn't think that I'd be doing much of this show. I thought I'd just be checking it out. Some shows on this channel I really do check out 1 or 2 episodes, and then maybe the video won't do super well, or I might not be super into it, or a combination of both, and I'll just go, all right, I won't do any more reactions to that. But no, not this show. I have definitely enjoyed, like, the episodes more and more as it went on. I think it felt like it got better and better. At the start, I felt like it was, you know, a pretty solid, funny first episode, but it was pretty standard, you know, anime, rom-com type stuff. And I feel like now, coming to the end of the first season, it feels like there's something unique here. There's something here that feels different. I think the character work is like a little bit different than these types of shows from what I have seen. There's a little bit more depth, especially to Masachika, than I expected from it. And on top of that, the sort of through line of, you know, the election and the way that ties into Masachika's family situation is genuinely interesting, and I like it. So, and then that on top of the fact that it's just been like a pretty solid adaptation, it seems like, and then it does unique stuff like the ED music changing each time. That's all stuff that works well for this show. So, like, it's not one of my favorite shows, but it's certainly a show that I enjoyed, and I think after this episode, I'm gonna have said that I enjoyed the whole first season. I do know that it has been confirmed for a second season, which is pretty cool, because I do want to see more of this. If you want to see my reactions to season 2 when it comes out, make sure to support the video, and let me know in the comments that you liked these reactions and that you want to see more. Because if people want to see more, if people want to see my reactions to season 2, then I'd do my reactions to season 2 when that came out. But otherwise, let's jump into Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian, the season finale. Here we go. Episode 12, Chin Up and Face Forward. You got this. It's all good, girl. You got this. I trust you. I think you're gonna light a fire under yourself in time. That takes a lot of practice that you probably don't have time to do. Smile. Just a bit. Oh, he told her off screen. I wonder what that's gonna be. She's not holding it against you. Alya. Alya is so honorable. We don't have any friendship. Does that imply he's gonna do that to you? Damn. Oh, now we're seeing both of their dark sides come out. That's the fairest way to do it, generally. Flip a coin. Yeah. Smart of him to not go for rock, paper, scissors against that manipulative ass. Yeah.
できるわよ。見ててね。
Call it.
アーリャさんを先行にしたら圧勝は難しい。先行を選ぶべき。いや。
Look at all this analyzing she's doing while it's in the air.
なんであんなに露骨に威圧してきたんだろう。陰で手を回すお兄ちゃんらしくないよ。
He's getting more aggressive because I think he is angry at you.
表。もう少し悩んで。
What's there to think about?
あら、外れね。
Damn.
それじゃあゆきちゃん、先行と後攻どっちにする？
I bet she's gonna want to go second.
アーリャさんは思ったよりメンタルが強くない。
That's true.
最低限の拍手はもらえる先行を引いた上での引き分け。なら、私は当初の予定通り圧勝を狙えばいい。
So you're choosing to go first?
それでは先行でお願い。
Okay. Was that all part of Masachika's plan? I don't know.
高校が九条妹クゼペアだ。
はい。
This is exciting.
皆さん、一学期お疲れ様でした。
He's so charismatic.
宿題と筋トレは毎日コツコツやろうね。
And workouts.
毎日、私も毎日公園までお散歩しようかな。あ、お散歩って言えばこの。
Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Oh shit.
一度でも利用したことがあるという人の方が少ないのではないでしょうか。
Maybe they feel like it's just being thrown away.
それはやはり皆さんが
Yeah.
投書しても実現しないから。
That's a common thing. You feel like you're just throwing it into a void if you never see anything change.
生徒の要望を聞き、実現させるのは困難でしょう。
That's true.
現在も高等部生徒会で働いている実績と経験を持つ。
This is pretty good.
ご清聴
That's a good speech. That's impressive. Yeah, I mean, I do like how she threw in some events that she might add, you know. Oh, Ayano's coming up?
それでいておごり高ぶったところもなく、常に周囲への気遣いも忘れません。
Yeah, I mean, this honestly would do a good job at convincing people.
見事に学園を率いてくださると確信しております。
Like, this isn't exactly a rousing speech, but after what you've just heard from Yuki, I think it would work well. I'm kind of nervous after seeing that speech, because that was good. It wasn't, like, mind-blowing, but it was solid, you know? Speaking in Russian.
Я собираюсь выставить свою кандидатуру на
Oh.
выборах председателя школьного совета.
This is an interesting start.
И у меня пока нет достижений.
It gets everyone's
которыми
attention.
Я могла бы похвастаться. Была, в принципе, работает члена школьного совета.
I like the music.
緊張のあまりロシア語が出てしまいました。
今の冗談？
先行のユキと綾乃に場の空気はかなり持っていかれているはず。
It'll make them start thinking about
そ
that.
こへネイティブのロシア語で冷や水を浴びせてやれ。
It's similar to in Kaguya-sama where you make mic feedback to snap them out of
生
it.
徒会かそれは私が誰よりも努力することができる人間だということです。
That's good.
私はい
That's
つだって
memorable.
時には摩擦を生み手痛い失敗をすることもありました。
Yeah,
し
it's
かし失敗から
isolated
学び
her from people.
去年の学園祭では
俺は知ってる。
自ら選挙戦を辞退します。
Damn.
これからの私を見ていてください。そのすべてを糧にして
Helps that she's got a cool soundtrack to her
皆さんに
speech.
望まれる生徒会長にご清聴ありがとうございました。
I liked her delivery of that speech.
ああ、かっこよかった。
I personally feel like that was a tie,
切れたわ。
but I don't know.
まして久世正親さんの挨拶です。
Oh, but this could send it over, honestly. Masachika's a good speech giver.
ちょっとかつて周防ユキ生徒会長を支えた影の副会長とは俺のことだ。あれ？おい、滑ってんぞー。そこで私は言いたい。 ユキのことはちゃんとだからこれは浮気ではないと
最低だお前
俺は違うと思います
Okay.
何より人を引きつける人だと思います
Oh.
俺はすっげえ不器用だなって思いましたすごいまっすぐで正直なスピーチ
Oh, this is a great speech.
アーレが生徒会長になった暁には谷山さやかと宮前ののあが生徒会
Oh.
役員
That's a great card to play.
皆さん討論でぶつかり合った相手が新生徒会で共に
Because she's got the charisma to draw them in. Oh, this is great.
どうか応援よろしくお願いします
Oh, and they got the grand finale. Like, Yuki chose wrong going first. This is a crazy grand finale.
お前
Oh.
期待してます。
Awesome.
じゃあ頑張ってアリッサが生徒会長になったら協力するからさ。
Hell yes, you will. That'd be amazing. A more main character.
もうあなたの覚悟に気をされたりはしない。
やられました。ね、ユキ様。素晴らしい強キャラ感です。
目標達成できてたらもっとかっこよかったんだけどな
Nice.
本当にね。
なんとも締まらない
33.
何でも一つ言うことを聞かせられるっていう
Mm.
なんか考えあるって言ってなかったかロシア語でなんか言ってたじゃん
あれは人に言ってみただけよ。
Of course.
ああこいつ自分が勝つとは思ってなかったのか
She's just pushing herself with it.
ここは二人の親密度をアピールするためにも名前
Nice.
で呼び
まあいいんじゃない。
She's ecstatic about this.
もう
In that case, you do the same.
そんな感じで。
控えないとな
そうね。
Oh my gosh, that's the most flustered they've been around each other for like such a minor thing.
ありゃ
Compared to them like sharing food before and stuff.
にパーダイドゥハン。
Oh.
喜んで。
Aw, that's adorable. And here's the final ED. Cute. I like that drawing. That's nice. Very nice. I really liked that. That was fun. That was a really good episode. It was basically exactly as I hoped it would be, this episode. Like, I had hoped that we would get both speeches and that it would be interesting and entertaining to watch the entire time and the episode would go by quickly, and all of that stuff happened. So I, like, when I'm looking at it, I think they did it really well because I think, firstly, like, neither of them felt like unrealistic speeches, you know, like they weren't like crazy fantastical speeches that you would never see in something like this. They were actually pretty reasonable, you know, student council president type speeches. So like, I like that it felt like, you know, pretty real speeches. They're like standard, but there's a difference between standard bad and standard good, and they reached standard good, you know. And then I like how, if I was to compare both Alya and Yuki's speeches, I would call them on even footing. I would say that those two speeches were equal, because I feel like I mean Masachika put it well. Like, what did he said to everyone, like, what did you think about Alya's speech just now? It was kind of awkward, wasn't it? But at the same time, like, she's a very straightforward and genuine person, and I think that's what, to me, came through. Like, it was her delivery of the speech. It felt like she meant it, and she meant everything she was saying, and there was like passion and drive there. I like the way that she was talking about, like, I work harder than everyone else. I've done so even, you know, to my own detriment. But I'm a hard worker, and I will work to make sure I can, you know, figure this out. So like, Alya for me had that going for her. This feeling of a sort of genuine nature. But then Yuki, the way she was proposing her speech, the way she structured it, and her own accomplishments did make me think that Yuki was very qualified and that she would do a great job. And then Ayano talking up Yuki afterwards, it's like, yeah, this feels like, you know, the boost that Yuki needs. So if it was Yuki and Ayano and their speech and then versus Alya's, and if Misatsuka didn't speak, then Yuki and Ayano would win. In my opinion, like I would have voted for them. I think if you take away Misatsuka and Ayano and you just have the two girls, the two candidates, I think I would have voted for Yuki only because I think I would have been torn on it. And so if I'm 50-50, if I'm torn, and I think a lot of people are like this, you go for the safer option, I feel like. So it's like if you're really torn on the options, it's like, okay, am I gonna go for the person who definitely knows what she's doing in Yuki, or the person who said, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm going to learn and be exceptional at it. So it's like Alya is high risk, high reward, and Yuki is like a safe, she is going to be a good student council president, but is she going to be a great one? Who knows, you know? So I think if I was just watching both of their speeches, I would have gone for Yuki. But Misatsuka did a really great job because he is charismatic. He got the audience like reacting. They were laughing at stuff. They were like, they were paying a bit more attention because, especially, you know, when there's some jokes and there's some laughter, it makes you like perk up a little bit and you actually start listening to what's going on. Especially if, you know, he does like a small joke at the start and it bombs or whatever, right? Like that works. It still works for the speech because, and I think he probably meant for that to happen because it endears him to other people, but it works because he bombs the joke, right? Someone calls out, hey, that joke sucked, and then everyone sort of laughs. The people who weren't really listening, all they're gonna hear is him do something and then someone call out, hey, that sucked, and then people laughing. And so then you start to pay attention, like, oh, what are they laughing at? And then you start to like listen to the speech because you want to be in on the joke. It's like human nature, you know, you don't want to be left out. And so everyone starts listening in then. So you catch people's attention before you start saying any of the important shit. It works really well. And then on top of that, his, like, Misatsuka is the best character at telling other people what makes Alya so great. And I really, really love that about him. He's like attentive of other people and he is really good at going like, hey, Alya is really awesome because of these reasons. Because if I'm being completely honest and I'm looking at this series, I like Alya. I like her a lot, but I think most of the parts that I've liked her have been the bits that Misatsuka has sold me on her, you know? If Misatsuka wasn't in this show and it was a different generic male character, I don't think I would have liked Alya as much. I don't think, like, it would have worked for me. But he is really good at bringing out the best in her and pointing out the things about her that are special and that are memorable and great. And so I think this show does a really good job at that, and I think Misatsuka does a really good job at selling her, and he sold her to the audience as well. And it was beautiful. It was great. I think that was a great idea. And then they put the little mic drop moment of like, and also these people that we were arguing with before, they're gonna join us next year if she becomes president. That means, look, even our enemies come around on us. That's how much charisma she has. That's the sort of person Alya is. So she is going to win. I really like that. That's a great way to bring it all in. So all of that is very impressive. And then the simple idea of like Alya going up there and starting her speech in Russian. I said this in the reaction, but I'll expound on it here. Like it is very similar to in Kaguya-sama. And I was comparing this in my head to the Kaguya-sama election arc, because I love the Kaguya-sama election arc. And I mean, I don't know if there's going to be an election arc in anything that's going to stand up to the Kaguya one for me, because I just love the way Kaguya is written. But in the election arc in Kaguya, when they're doing their speeches and Shinomiya goes on stage, there's like muttering, people like, you know, they're between speeches and people trying to figure things out, and she just like puts her finger near the mic and like causes there to be some feedback, and it goes and it like hurts everyone's ears and they go, what the fuck? but it snaps them out of it. You know, they were all talking or whatever, and then they're like, oh my god, and then they like look up and they're paying attention because, you know, they're like, it's not like they're gonna be like, oh, this fucking idiot caused mic feedback. Like, that's just, you know, it's just like it's not really gonna hurt your case. All it's gonna do is make them pay attention. So starting a speech in Russian is a very similar thing. Like, they're all still buzzing about what happened before, and they all think like, well, she's got it in the bag or whatever, and then they start hearing, why is someone speaking Russian into the microphone? And then they look up and they're like, is she saying this whole thing in Russian? What the fuck's going on? And then they're paying attention, and then they're thinking about her instead of thinking about Yuki. It works very well. This was a cleverly written episode. I also liked Masachika early in the episode, like, declaring war on Yuki, and like, it felt like he was sort of saying to her, like, because she did all of that stuff to Alya in the last episode, and I think he is genuinely kind of pissed off about it, even though he knows why she did it, and knows that it's within the bounds of what they were doing. Like, she didn't cross any lines with them, but he's still probably annoyed because he's protective of Alya. So I like that it felt like he was basically going like, oh, well, it's great that you showed us that, you know, we can play a bit dirty, because now you've kind of given us permission to go a little further than you expected us to. But also, as Yuki was saying later, it might have been a play, him doing all of that to distract her from what they were really doing. And, I mean, I think it worked because Yuki chose to go first, and I think that was a bad idea. If Yuki had gone second, at the very least, she would have been able to respond to what had happened, you know? She would have, like, not even if it's not directly, she would have been able to adjust her strategy based on the idea that, like, oh, now look, there's a, that, like, there are these people joining the student council next year and all of that. Like, she can adjust her speech and maybe even get Ayano to adjust her speech. Because Ayano, I love Ayano, and I think her speech was good to nudge Yuki's forward, but out of all four of them, Ayano had the weakest speech, right? Because she's not a very charismatic person overall. So, yeah, like, Ayano, maybe that you could have gotten her to adjust her speech if you knew what you were fighting against. But yeah, anyway, that's Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. My opinions on the show are basically the same as I said at the start of the video, so I don't really need to go over them again. You can just go to the intro of this video to find out my opinions on the whole season. But it was very good, really entertaining. I had a great time, and I'm excited to see season 2 whenever that comes out. But thank you for joining me. Make sure to support this video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.